Last 3 years, I was driving on boat. I was a boat driver last 3 years, and I picked a passenger from Osu around the corner pub on the Oxford Street. I was dropping the person on the Spintex Road, Spintex EcoBank. So as soon as I dropped the person, I had another request on the boat app. So I drove to the person's pickup point, not far from the EcoBank Spintex. So when I got to the destination, it was a guy and a lady. Yes, so they sat in the back seat and the guy asked me to start a ride. I said, okay. So I started a ride. I drove about 300 meters and I asked the guy that where are they heading towards? Because that time my map wasn't giving me a correct direction. So he said they are heading towards Accra Mall. So I drove about 300 meters and I noticed the rider, the guy and the lady I picked. The rider sent me a message on the boat app. So I was surprised. I said, but I've already picked you. So why would you send me a message on the boat app again? Which was the guy. The guy sent me a message. He said hi on the boat app. So I was thinking maybe he wanted to tell me something he didn't want the lady to know. So I then picked my phone from the dashboard and I responded hi. And the next message that came was, he said, are you aware we are not in the car? So instantly I got frightened and I watched through the driving mirror. I was looking back. I didn't see their heads. So I quickly slowed down and then I parked. So when I turned back, there was no one in the back seat. So I said, okay, fine. So I then came down out of the car, and I opened the back seat to confirm whether there was no one in the car. When I opened the back seat, there was no one in the car. So at that very moment, I just picked the rider's number on the app and I canceled the ride. That time I was staying around Osu, so I drove straight to the house. I didn't pick any passenger again. I drove straight to the house. The following morning, around 7, I called the same number. So when I called the number and I told him that this is the boat driver who picked him yesterday night. And he said, oh, okay, yeah, he remembers, but what's the problem? And I said, he sent me a message on the app. I screenshotted it. He sent me a message on the app that they sat in the car and I didn't even notice they were not in the car. And I said, yes, that's why I called to confirm what happened. He said, well, they came out of the car and I didn't see them. I didn't notice it. So there's no need for him to explain anything. So he just hung up. And I've called the number till date. The number doesn't go through. So that week, in the course of that week, I really felt sick. I went to the hospital for about 2 different hospitals. I was very sick. They didn't know what happened to me. I did series of lab tests and all that, but they said I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. But deep down me, I could see that I wasn't feeling well. Yes. So I even stopped during the night.
When you got to the pickup point, did you see them sit in the car before you drove off? Or you just heard the door shut and then you perceived that they were in the car before you drove off? And also, when the guy sent you message through the boat app and you turned your neck, you didn't see them. How did you feel at that moment when you didn't see that? You knew you picked human beings, but when immediately you turned your neck, you didn't see them. And also, you said you felt sick after a few days. How did you heal from it? Because you said you were in the hospital couldn't find any problem with you. So how did you finally heal from that, the sickness? To this day, have you fully recovered, or you still have flashback of those things?
When I got to their pickup point, they sat in the car. You get it? They sat in the car and I saw them through the driving mirror. I saw their heads at that time when they sat in the car. And the guy even asked me to start the ride. You get it? He asked me to start the ride. And they didn't inform me they wanted to drop on the road or something. The only thing he sent me was, he said, am I aware they are not in the car? That was when I had to stop by the roadside and I watched through the driving mirror again and I didn't see their heads. So I then came down. I then came down and to confirm that they are not in the car, I opened the back door and truly they were not in the car. At that very moment, I was very frightened. My AC was on, but I started sweating at that time because I never met such an encounter like that before. And that week, I told you I wasn't feeling too well. Yes, I don't know. We might be because of what happened. I don't know, but me myself, I don't even go to church. Yeah, so after I went to the hospital and all that, and they said they couldn't, like, there was nothing wrong with me and all that. I just started saying one or two prayers, and since then I've been okay. But more then I remember what happened. Anytime I meet an Uber driver or a boat driver, and maybe he tells me about something he encountered, then I also tell him my story, my side of the story, what happened to me. Yes.
Did that make you stop Uber completely? Because you said you stopped working in the night, but with time, did you stop Uber completely? And did you have any other encounters aside from this one also, or any other life encounter that you want to add before we close? And also, what's also the good side of the Uber business or the online driving business? What's some of the good side that you can tell people or the young guys that want to join the field?
I won't say I stopped the Uber business because of what happened to me, but at this point I'm also schooling. Yes, and God willing, now I'll be completing my school this June. Yeah, but the Uber job, it has helped me a lot for the past, let's say, 5 years now. I've done Uber to take care of myself, my family, pay my school fees, and anything, my rent, anything I do now is the Uber that has helped me a lot. Yes. So the only challenge you face is, let's say, just their commission. Their commission is very high. That's the only challenge. So just imagine you are using a fuel car. I pity those using fuel cars to do Uber at this point in time. For now, I have an electric car I'm using to do the Uber business, and I'm still schooling. Yes. So I think the electric car is a little bit economical than the fuel car, because let's say every 4 days I have to buy prepaid about 100 cedis for full charge. Yes, every 4 days. Compared to a fuel car, when I was using a fuel car, I was buying at least 300, 350 fuel per day. And before you could even work to get that 350 or even more than that a day, is not easy. Yes. But the Uber job is very good. It's very good. If you're hardworking, you can make some money out of it. Yes. Yes, and considering the safetiness of this work too, is a little bit some way, because Uber itself doesn't care about we the drivers, because Uber has all information about we the drivers. I mean, they have our picture, they have details of our driving license and wherever, whatever. But it's very difficult for you to trace a rider. You don't have a picture of the rider, no details about the rider. They use some funny names to request for the ride and all that. Yes. Somewhere last year I was being robbed around the Teshin area, and that day too, it was in the night. I picked the person from Osu around the Apple's nightclub to Teshin. So he was sitting beside me at the front seat. So when we got to his destination, so he then came out of the car and he asked me how much the fare was. So I took my phone and I showed him the price. So he just snatched the phone away from me, and that was it. That night, the guy snatched my phone. it was very late in the night, so I didn't even bother myself to come down and chase him and all that, because I didn't know who was around at that time. Maybe there are more than one or two, so they could have attacked me or something if I came down by that time. So I didn't bother to even chase him for the phone, so I just drove off. And concerning the electric cars, I imported mine. Yes, I imported mine. I didn't buy it here. And so far, I haven't seen any company that sells any of the electric cars in Ghana here. So I think if anyone wants it, then you have to buy it from outside. Yeah. A lot of my friends who are also in this ride hailing businesses have shared a lot of experiences with me. But as to how true the story is, I can't tell. So I don't think it's best for me to even say it. Yeah. I only think mine is okay. Yes.
If you want to support RideAndChat or you have an encounter to share, you can reach out to me on Instagram, RideAndChat, or TikTok, RideAndChat, or you can leave a comment in the comment section below, or via email, rideandchat@gmail.com. God bless you. I hope you've learned something from my brother's encounter. Until we meet again, my name is Dr. Sam. The program is RideAndChat. Bye-bye.